Breaking the most unbelievable curse in all of sports? Now that's finger-licking good. With their thrilling victory in the 2023 Japan Series, the Hanshin Tigers of Nippon Professional Baseball finally lifted the supposed curse that had plagued the franchise for almost 4 decades, a curse they fell under for disrespecting Colonel Harlan Sanders. Yes, that Colonel Sanders, as in the KFC Colonel. I know, we'll explain. Sit back, relax, and take this in. Unlike the unmistakably bad vibes and/or bad decisions that led to baseball's most famous curses, the curse of the Bambino and the curse of the Billy Goat, it was actually a moment of unrestrained joy that led to the curse of the Colonel. See, for virtually their first half-century of existence, the Hanshin Tigers were an afterthought within Japanese professional baseball, a perennial non-contender in the Central League. So when the Tigers defied the odds and took home their first ever Japan Series title in 1985, 49 years after their inaugural season and more than 2 decades removed from their last Central League pennant, their famously devoted fans were understandably psyched. Maybe in retrospect, too psyched. Following the Tigers' victory over the Seibu Lions in the '85 series, their fans took to the streets of Osaka's bustling Dotonbori district to celebrate. There, on the banks of the Dotonbori River, they rejoiced in their customary fashion by having fans who looked like players on the championship-winning roster leap into the river. The notoriously polluted river, I might add. There was only one problem. None of their fans resembled first baseman Randy Bass, an Oklahoma native and former big leaguer who won the Japanese Triple Crown for Hanshin in 1985 and earned Japan Series MVP honors. But you know who does kind of look like Randy Bass? Colonel Harlan Sanders, the founder and iconic mascot for Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, a cohort of Tigers fans had the brilliant idea to head to a nearby KFC, where they then stole a life-size statue of the Colonel, much to the staff's dismay, and then hurled him into the water. While Tigers fans exulted, the Colonel sank to the bottom of the river, and although they did make an effort to fetch him out of the water the following day, they were ultimately unsuccessful. And that's when the trouble began for the Tigers. Or rather, that's when the misery resumed. In '86, as defending champions, the Tigers finished at 500. The following year, they posted the worst record in all of Nippon Professional Baseball. Then they did it again, and they just continued to languish. In fact, following their championship run, the Tigers didn't post a winning record again until 1992, and their unending mediocrity eventually gave rise to talk of a curse, one placed on the franchise for their impertinent treatment of Colonel Sanders years earlier. And as the losing seasons piled up, the curse only gained more credibility. The Tigers didn't win their next Central League pennant until 2003, and while that did constitute progress, it wasn't an exorcism. The favored Tigers lost that year's Japan Series in heartbreaking fashion, squandering a 3-2 lead in the best of 7 against Fukuoka. In their next trip to the Japan Series, 2 years later, the Tigers didn't win a game, getting swept by former big leaguer Bobby Valentine's Chiba Lotte Marines. Along the way, it should be noted, efforts had been made to retrieve the Colonel from the river, with some fans believing that the team would remain cursed until the statue was rescued, so to speak. And finally, after 24 years at the bottom of the river, the statue was found in 2009. He didn't have his hands, legs, or glasses, mind you, but he still had a smile on his face. And despite being a little worse for the wear, the Colonel was hauled up back to dry land in what was regarded as a pivotal moment in Tigers franchise history. That said, some particularly anxious fans worried that the curse would remain in place until the Colonel was made whole, but clearly that wasn't the case. In 2023, the Tigers unexpectedly cruised to their first Central League pennant in almost 20 years, then swept Hiroshima to earn a spot in the Japan Series against the Oryx Buffaloes, the reigning champions. Naturally, the series went 7 games, but in the end, it was the long-suffering Tigers who came out on top, riding a 3-run homer from Sheldon Neuse and some excellent pitching to a Game 7 victory 38 years in the making.
日本一に迫っているのはタイガース。さあこの打球センターノイジーが掴んだ。
And despite repeated warnings from law enforcement not to jump into the Dotonbori River in celebration, after living under a curse for almost 4 decades, Tigers fans weren't about to let anything get in the way of tradition. Meanwhile, in celebrating their great unburdening and the second Japan Series title in franchise history, they even tossed someone dressed up like the Colonel into the river. How deliciously cathartic that must have been. With that though, the most outrageous curse in all of sports is officially over. And just as a public service announcement, if your favorite sports team wins a title and you get a notion to desecrate a beloved fast food mascot in celebration,